Morning, everyone, and welcome to the presentation this morning. My name is Gail Mercer, and I will be your hostess this morning. And we are going to be discussing reading your higher time frames. Now, before we get started, I want to make sure everyone reads over the Nadex risk disclaimer. Basically, any type of trading, including binary options and spreads, can be risky. And that means you can lose money. So take just a few minutes and read over the disclaimer, and then we'll get started talking about trading the higher time frames. Actually, reading the higher time frames. Now, before we get started, for those that do not know me, my name is Gail Mercer, and I've got over 15 years of trading experience now. I started out with a company that actually programmed indicators, and I became enticed by the price bar. I specialize in price action, volume analysis, and divergence, simply because I believe they are leading indicators. I am a frequent contributor for Stocks and Commodities, Traders World, and Top Shelf Magazine. I have also been a speaker at Traders Expo, Traders World Online Expo, and the Wyckoff Volume Conference. I'm also the author of Trading Nadex Binary Options, Keeping It Simple Strategies, and the New Trader's Guide to Trading Nadex Binary Options and Spreads. Now today, what I plan on doing is showing you how to read the higher time frames and how to trade into those higher time frames. Now you can always email me if you have a question at gm@tradershelpdesk.com, or you can visit my website at tradershelpdesk.com. Now let's get started on reading higher time frames. Now I've got basically 3 charts up, and this is a program called Multi-Charts. And this is what I use for my forex trading, okay? Now, I have a 240-minute chart, a 60-minute chart, and a 15-minute chart. My trading time frame would be the 15-minute chart. My next higher time frame, which is what I refer to as a medium time frame, would be the 60-minute chart, followed by my long-term chart, which is the 240-minute chart. Now, does anybody know why you want to trade into your higher time frame? Any guesses? It's very, very simple reason. You're going into a bigger move, okay? Does everybody understand that? In other words, let's say that we were going short on the US CAD, okay? If we were going short after this bar, okay, let's say that we went in actually on this bar. This is going into both the 60-minute move and the 240 move. Do y'all see that? Right, you have stronger zones of support and resistance, but you also have stronger pivot bars. Now, I've done a lot of presentations on pivot bars, and some of you may have attended and some of you may not have attended, but you can go back and watch those videos. But if you look up here, you can see a tiny red dot on that bar. That is a pivot bar. Here's a pivot bar, okay? So you're going into a pivot bar formation. That means if it's a pivot bar, this is on a high, that means that price is going to go down. Do y'all understand that? Because it is a pivot bar on a high. That means price is going down. So if you trade into that, then it's giving you an edge. Do y'all understand that? Okay, if you're going into the 240, again, it's giving you an edge. Okay, and this is where you can, you know, go in on a 2-hour, you could go in on a daily, you could even go in on a weekly, because you can change the time frames. All right, now let's bring up Nadex for a moment, and let's look at the euro yen. Now you can do this with Nadex, okay? Just like what I do. The only difference is I'm monitoring multiple streams over here. In Nadex, we're going to do one currency, okay? So let's bring up the euro yen, and let's go out until 1 o'clock. And let's just choose any strike, we'll do it. So this is a 15-minute. Everybody sees the 15-minute here. Now I can drag that chart right over here, and you can see we just made a reversal bar to the downside. Now I'm going to open up another window, and this one I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to set it for a 1-hour binary. And then I'm going to open up another window, same thing, and I'm going to set it for a 4-hour, okay? How do I get these time frames? I have just a very simple calculation method. I take my trading time frame, which is the 15-minute, I multiply by 4. That gives me a 60-minute. I multiply by 4 again, and that gives me a 240-minute chart. Does everybody understand that? It just gives me a way to bring up a chart and say, okay, I want to trade a 15-minute chart. That's what I want to trade. So what's going to be my higher time frame? And I need something that I can duplicate across any market. Does everybody understand that? How can I duplicate that? Mathematical formula. Okay, 15 times 4 is 60. If I was trading a 60-minute, multiply it by 4, that's 240 minutes. Okay? Now, I always start with my higher time frame. Okay? In this case, my highest time frame is a 240-minute chart. Okay? Now, we've had a very large bar that went from here down to here. How do I know this is a very large bar? Okay? Because if I look at these bars, okay, and this is just in the general vicinity of this bar, look at how big this bar is compared to all of these bars. Do you see that? Now, this bar typically will retrace about 50%, and it usually happens about 80% of the time. So that's going to be just about here. So looking at this chart, I think we're going to get a retracement. Does everybody understand that? I most certainly do. I forgot. It didn't change to the 4-hour, I think. There. That's better. Okay. We still pretty much have the same scenario on this chart. Okay. This is my 240. We still have a very large bar. We also have it over here on the 60-minute, and we also have it over here. Do you see that? This bar is, when you look at this bar, you go, wow, they really dropped the market, okay? Over here, if you looked at this bar, you go, wow, the market really went down. Do y'all see that? That's when you know it's a wide bar. Okay? Now, again, this is typically going to retrace about halfway. Okay? So I'm going to mark this for everybody. There's your halfway point. Here's your halfway point. Okay? Here we get a 3-bar reversal. Here we have the potential of a 3-bar reversal. Do you see that? I'm not going to be very eager to actually short right now on the euro yen. Do y'all see that? And simply noticing the wide bar on your higher time frame would prevent you from actually going short. Because, you know, sometimes you get excited on this bar and you say, oh, I'm going to jump in. Okay? This bar is telling me, oh, no, I don't want to jump in. Do y'all understand that? And determining whether this is a wide bar is totally relative on the previous bars, okay? So you're looking at these bars, okay? And you're going, okay, look at the distance on these bars, okay? They're, you know, typically just moving this much. And yet this one comes in and bam, it really comes down. And we typically see these bars after market reports. Do you understand that? This is when they are evident in the market. So even though the market is in a downtrend, I know my best objective is actually to wait and let the retracement occur and then analyze the market. Now, why do I think the market's trending down? Because if you connected the highs and lows, and forget about this time frame right now, that's just for my entry. That's just for when I can determine what direction I want to go. Okay? So don't look at this one right now. If we're connecting the highs and the lows, there's a high, here's a low, here's a high, here's a low, a high, and a low. Okay? Then it went down to make newer lows. Now, if we drew a trend line connecting these highs and connecting these lows, it is going down. Does everyone understand that? The very definition of a downtrend is lower highs and lower lows. You're making lower highs and lower lows. But is right now the perfect time to enter this downtrend? No. Why not? Because this is the second part. When you have a wide bar, typically that wide bar will retrace because the market does not like imbalance, and that is an imbalance. Why did I choose the euro yen? It was really kind of simple. I looked up here and it told me it just made a pivot low. That's the only reason I chose it. Because I knew that with a pivot low, the chances are you're going to get a retracement. And that's the way the price bars work. When you get a pivot low, it needs to go back and form a high, And it's after that high that you want to determine whether you enter the market or not, Chuck. You don't want to go short on the low. You don't want to go long on the high. Okay? Does everybody understand that? What happens, and think about it for a minute because I want to make sure that you're understanding what I'm saying. If I go short here, what's happening? I'm losing money because I sold the low. And no trader wants to sell the low. They want to sell the high, but never the low. Okay? If I wanted to go long back here, okay, that's a bad entry. Why? Because I'm buying the high. You don't want to buy the high. You want to sell the high. Do you understand that? What you really want to do is buy the retracement, okay? Or sell the retracement, okay? These are referred to as retracements. They're referred to as pullbacks, okay? This is a great time for this market to pull back, probably to about here, okay? Now, once it pulls back to here, remember, I'm not looking at this one yet, okay? I want to see it pull back to about right here. When it gets right here, that is when I want to look at this time frame. Does everybody understand? That's when you're trading into this time frame. You're letting it set up here, okay? Then you're going over here to say, okay, I'm going to get my entry. Is it confirming what I am seeing over here? And in this case, you've got a pivot low that told me, okay, we're going to kick off the retracement, okay? Kicking off the retracement to here says, hey, pay attention, okay? We're going to retrace, and then you're probably going to get a trade. Now, would I be able to trade the 1 p.m.? It depends. And this is the second part of a binary option. Do you have enough time? Okay. This is a 1 hour chart. Okay. So that gives me approximately 40 minutes plus 1 hour on this binary. So together it's an hour and 40 minutes. Can this retracement occur in the next 40 minutes and then a reversal bar form over here giving me an entry? Yeah, it could. That's what we have to wait on. This is just giving me notification that a trade is coming in. Do y'all understand that? And the common mistake that most traders make, and I see it happen all of the time, is you justify your trade. Has anybody in the room ever justified going long or short? And this is what I mean. You start out, you're looking over here and you're going, oh, wow, you know, I'm going to take a short position. And then you go, oh, yeah, see, this is down and this is down. Yeah, I'm going to go short. In other words, you're jumping like this, okay? You're going from the 15-minute to the 60 to the 240. You need to go the other direction. You need to be able to identify your trade direction from these two charts, which are your higher time frames, okay? This is your trade direction chart. This is a long term. This is a medium term. Okay? and then you enter off of this one. Do y'all understand that now? You don't ever go from here to here to here. You go from here, okay, the market is going down. The market is going down, but it's going to retrace to here, okay? There is no reason for me to look at a 15-minute until my retracement is shown on this chart. Does everybody understand that? All right, let's look at something else. Let's put these away. And let me refresh because I'm having trouble with closing the chart. So give me just a minute. Let's look at the USD Canadian. And let's go to the USD CAD. Let's go out to 3 p.m. And we're going to set this one. It should come up as 240. It did. And let's bring up another one at 60 minutes. And I do really suggest that you have all of these up and not, you know, go from a 240 down to a 60 down to a 15. I think it helps, especially if you're new to this. It really helps to have these charts staring you in the face. Okay, so what is the 240-minute telling you right now? Any guesses? A retracement is actually marked by a high, Tom, not by the candlestick. So right now, if you're looking at the US CAD, okay, you're seeing, okay, this is in a downtrend, isn't it? So what is your bias? My bias is to the downside. Okay. If we connect the lows, okay, they're going down. Now, you know, they did make a double bottom there, but overall it's going down, and this bar could take out this low. Okay. So overall, we're still in a downtrend. Okay. What is the 60-minute telling you? Any guesses on the 60-minute? Are you making higher highs or higher lows? I mean, what are you doing? Right here, you just had a reversal bar. And you're waiting on this one as a confirmation. But if this pattern holds, you're going to go into a retracement. Is right now the best time to take a trade on the US CAD? Do I need to go to my time frame to enter a trade? No. Why not? Because I know I have at least 36 minutes before this bar ends to determine whether this is going to be a reversal bar or not. Do you understand that? If you do not understand, please post a question so I can explain it. I have not mastered the art of reading minds yet. I'm trying to, but I haven't quite got it down pat yet. So in this case, there's no reason for me to go to another time frame. All right, let's look at another one. Let's say that, repeat this one, Frank. This bar right here was one tick lower than this bar, okay? So it gives you bar 1, bar 2, bar 3. It made a low. It doesn't look like this because it was only one tick, okay? But it is this bar that I am waiting for the formation to see if this confirms that it is a reversal bar. If it closes and it does not take out this low, then we're going to have a reversal bar that is going to start a retracement. There is no reason for me to look at a 15-minute chart because I already know, okay, my bias is to the downside on both of these, okay? But the 60-minute is saying not yet, okay? I don't want to sell the low of the day, okay? So there is no reason whatsoever for me to go down to a 15-minute chart. Do you understand now, Frank? Don't even look at it, because if you look at it, it's going to entice you into entering a position when you should not be in that position anyway. Okay? Now, let's say that we want to trade a 20-minute binary. Okay? So, your highest time frame is 20 minutes. You're going to divide by 4. That's going to give you a 5-minute time frame. And then if you divide it again, you basically get a 1-minute chart. Okay, so let's go look at a 20-minute binary. Let's do the US Tech. So in this case, I'm still going to use a 1 hour right here. Okay. Because this is going to be my highest time frame. All right. Is everybody with me so far? It actually depends on what the market's doing overall. Just off of a 20-minute chart, no. Not unless it was in the right direction. Now, on this one, I'm going to change it. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to have to go to a 15-minute. I'm going to have to modify these to match my charts here. And I'm going to pull up one more. And a 15-minute. I need, okay. Let me put this one on a 5-minute. All right, so let's say that my bias is to the upside. I mean, it's going up, just had a retracement, and we're getting a reversal bar over here, okay? Now, there's a couple of ways that you can do this. It's going to be quick too. You could go out of the money at 38. You could do the 49 or the 50 here. Or you could even, if you wanted to, you could actually short one of these higher ones here, okay? This is dependent on your risk tolerance, okay? Now, for illustration purposes only, I'm actually going to wait a minute and I'm going to do this one. I'm going to try to get 38 on this one that's out of the money, okay? Now, again, you have the option of going short. You could even do this one down here at 59. It still gives you a $40 profit. You could do this one up here, okay? Now, this one should move in my direction only because I'm trading right into these two higher time frames, okay? Now, I'm also, and this is something I always do, is set a profit target, especially on these little 20-minute binaries, just in case I get distracted, or sometimes it'll just pop up there and hit your profit target, okay? If you were short, let's say that you went short off of one of these, you know, down here at 35, you know, set your profit target at 10 or 15. Always, you know, in my opinion, is always have a profit target in, especially with a 20-minute because they move quick. Does everybody understand that? Now, what said, hey, you could probably go long off of this, okay? You're still making higher highs, okay? You just had a retracement over here on the 1 hour. You just had a retracement on the 15-minute. And you just had a retracement over here on the 5-minute, okay? In other words, I knew I was not going to buy a high. I knew I would not be buying that high because of that retracement. We just made a reversal bar to the upside, okay? Does that answer your question, Tom? It's also why I said it depends on what the market's doing. Now, would I have taken a reversal bar like this to the downside? No. Why? Because I'm going against my higher time frames. My edge, this is an edge. This is an edge. This is not an edge, okay? This is a trading time frame. Does everybody understand that? What if this said up, this said up, and this one said down? Couldn't take a trade. Do y'all understand that? And that was not a difficult trade. You didn't even have to worry about reading a lot of time frames. Indicators, I'm sorry. All you had to do was trade into your higher time frames. That's all we were doing. Do y'all have any questions? And some of you that have been to my other presentations, the biggest thing that I stress is reading your price bars. Okay? Because, you know, every retracement, every top, every bottom will normally come in on those reversal bars. So if I'm trading into an uptrend and I just had a retracement on my higher time frame, I have an edge. And the edge is my higher time frame. Has anybody in here ever taken a trade and it just immediately went against you? Maybe you went short here, you know, and you were short at the close of that bar down here, and it moved just enough to make you get excited, and then suddenly it swoops in and you lose. That's a higher time frame. That is because you have a higher time frame that is dominating, okay? And that was just a retracement on a higher time frame, and you were trading into that retracement, but the trend decided to continue. That's where the old saying comes from, the trend is your friend. But most people are measuring the trend using their lower time frame, and they should be using their higher time frame to measure trend. And then add the reversal bars. Does everyone understand that? And there's a lot of people right now that, oh, I'm going to jump in here right now, okay? They're probably going to buy the high of the day or the high of the period. It's 20, okay, what time frame do you want to trade, okay? And let me use a 2 hour because a 2 hour is going to work out better than a 20-minute. I did a 20-minute because this is not a 2 hour class, okay? Just so everybody knows, it's not a 2 hour class, okay? It's a shorter class, so I used a 20-minute. But let's say that we're doing a 2 hour binary. We're going to take a 2 hour binary, which equates to 120 minutes. We're going to divide by 4. And then we can divide by 4 again, okay? So basically, this is going to be a 10-minute with a 30-minute with a 120, okay? Let's say that you wanted to be all day, okay? If you wanted to be all day, let's say it's, well, on forex, it's basically 5 hours, okay? So 5 times 60 minutes is 300 divided by 4, divided by 4. And so I'm probably going to use a 20, a 60, and then a daily, or probably a 4 hour is what it's going to come out to. Do I have another class on how to identify the reversal bars? No, but we do have the recordings up, Cindy. If you go, let me pull it up real quick and I can show you. I've done several presentations. I like to do them in, you know, a little bit different ways. So, you know, if you don't understand one way, you'll understand another. If you go to nadex.com, click on Learning Center, and let me get rid of all of these drawings. Click on Learning Center, go to Webinar Archive, and then under Presenter, just select Traders Help Desk. And I had one at July 12th. It was on reading price bars, learning candlestick formations. I think I've done another one. Let's see, pivoting into trading opportunities. That was another one where I did the price bars. And I mean, they're really good presentations. Now, the biggest thing, and see how I told you they were going to buy the high? What is this bar doing? It's retracing. That's what I mean. They bought the high. If they entered up here, they bought the high. Do y'all understand it now? And this is basically just a combination of reading price bars and being able to identify this on higher time frames. That's it. Do y'all understand now? You know, if I was going to do, for example, let me see if anything's made up. Let's go look at the USD JPY. And let's say that I want to be out until 3 o'clock this afternoon. So, and basically we have 3 hours, which is 180. Will be a 45, and I'd go ahead and round that off to a 15-minute. So we're going to pull this one up. That's a 3-bar reversal right there. Okay. And this one is on a 1-hour chart. You got bar 1, bar 2, bar 3. Bar 2 is the lowest bar, okay? And bar 3 closed up. It would have been better if it closed above that high, but that's still an up bar, okay? This bar should take out the high of that bar. That's how it works. Now, it may take it out by 1 tick, which is why you would not do that counter trend trading. Not without some other indicators on here. Now, this is probably going to go up because it's overbought. It's oversold on a 60-minute chart. Okay. Now, let me get back to what I was discussing because I'll go off on a rant. All right. So let's change this to a 3-hour chart. And then we're probably going to have to use a 1-hour. Just because I don't have as many selections here as I do on other ones, on other platforms. So we're going to do a 1-hour over here. Okay, and then we're going to do a 15-minute. If I can remember to click the chart icon. Now, this one I'm going to move way off over here because it's not what I want to trade right now. So overall, what is the 3-hour chart telling you? It's telling me that the USD JPY is in a downtrend. okay? If I connect these highs and these lows, this is your channel. It is in a downtrend, okay? Now, if I connect over here, I'm still in a downtrend. But I also know I just came down here and I'm going back up, okay? Over here, you just made a 3-bar pivot to the upside, and it is beginning to look like a potential uptrend, okay? Is everybody with me so far? All right, so you look at this and you say, well, I'm going to go ahead and capitalize off of this, and I'm going to go, you could either select this one or you could select this one, okay? I will not do that trade unless it is supported by my indicators. Why? Because I am not trading into this time frame, and I am not trading into this time frame. I just gave up my edge. Do y'all understand that? The reversal bar that I would have used would have been like here, even here, okay? Because I would be going into my time frame, okay? This one is not really going into this time frame. You're going against your trend. It's not a good idea to do. Do y'all understand that? Even though there is a reversal bar, okay? This reversal bar pattern right here, it may actually go up one tick right here, and then it could close on the bottom, and that will be on the next 6-hour bar. I mean, the next 1-hour bar. It will close down here, and you'll lose this trade over here. Will it work for a 5 or 20-minute binary? I just showed you on a 20-minute binary. I don't do the 5 minutes, so I won't comment on those. I just think they're too noisy for me. So I don't do them. I do like the 20-minute binaries, but no, I'm not going to do it on a 5-minute because I don't trade 5-minute binaries. It's multi-charts for forex. I use 2 trading platforms. I use multi-chart for forex, and I use NinjaTrader for futures. No particular reason why, other than I develop for both platforms, so I use both platforms. I am doing a presentation, everyone, in the first week of August on using other platforms. You know, in some of the things, just for your information, you may want to attend, because some of the things that I'm going to be going over that day, for example, I showed you earlier, this is what I use, okay? And this allows me to monitor all of the currencies that I trade on Nadex, okay? And you can see I've got multiple time frames open. I can tell where everything is at a glance. Okay. And when you see something like price at CD or price at ATR, those are my entry points. Okay. So if I click over here, I can go and look at these real quick. Okay. And this is a great example of, okay, this one is telling me it's going up. And this is 15 minute, okay? So immediately I'm going to say, oh, I want a long position, okay? But this is your 240 minute. So you shouldn't have looked at that first. You should have looked over here. And you say, okay, what is this telling me? It's, you just made a higher low and you've had divergence, okay? So that tells me there's a potential for it to move up, but overall this trend is down, okay? Here, you're at an ATR, but overall the trend is down. That means this is a no trade situation for me on the 15-minute chart, okay? But I can do that, and it gives me a very quick overview of any of the markets that I'm trading, okay? For example, the euro dollar. And this is one I'm interested in because, of course, they have an announcement tomorrow. In this one, do you see how this is at the ATR right now? Again, the stochastics is overextended down here or getting to that point. Okay, so this gives me a bias that the euro is potentially going to go up. What would I like to see? I would like to see, some upward movement on the 60-minute as well as the 15-minute. And quite often what you're going to see is this will go up, it will flip the ATR, come back and test it, and that's when it's going to take off. But do you see how it makes that little higher low? That's what I look for. And see, this is, when you're using a different platform like multi-charts, you can set up alerts, okay? Here's a good example. I'm remodeling my house right now, and I have alerts on everything. I mean, I get alerts on these, I get alerts on these, there's conditions that I get alerts on this column, okay? So I have my speaker turned up, or I have my phone with me, okay? If I'm working in another part of the house and it tells me, hey, you got a potential trade set up on a higher time frame, all I have to do is come in here and look at it. If I like it, then I sit here and trade. Otherwise, I go back and work on the house. These are things that you can't necessarily do with the Nadex charting platform. But this is a good area to start, okay? And then as you progress in your trading, you move up to things that can handle more of what you want to do. Does everybody understand that? And during my presentation, I'll give you, the ins and outs of why you would use NinjaTrader, versus multi-charts, and then you also have data fees. But as you see, I've got my charting platform. I run 6 monitors. I've got multi-charts taking up 1 monitor. I've got NinjaTrader on a couple of monitors, and then I have Nadex. And generally, what I'm looking at with Nadex is just, okay, I need to find a trade. Where can I find a trade? So, I'll go, all right, this is my trade. Let's say it's on the NASDAQ, and I'll go and say, okay, I need at least an hour for this trade to work out, and then I select my risk level. And I do select by risk more than I select by anything. Any other questions, guys? I did use TradeStation at one time, and I still program for TradeStation, but just about everything else I do now is either NinjaTrader or multi-charts. And multi-charts is almost identical to TradeStation check. It just doesn't cost as much, to be honest. Thank you, Jesus. Any other questions? Okay.